Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Ken Rice, and welcome to the Fan Cave. We're here talking sports, although I have a feeling that pesky fly is going to get a lot of attention. Ray Petlin asked a question in the studio. Does he have his own Twitter account yet? The answer is yes, and he probably has 1 million followers by now. You know what I'm talking about if you were watching that debate. But we're here to debate sports, and you can join the conversation or debate by calling 412-575-2600. On Twitter, it's at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller, PGH. As Chris Mueller joins us up at 93.7 The Fan. You saw that fly coming in there, Chris, and it landed right on Mike Pence's head and didn't move. And I bet you he has over 100,000 Twitter followers by now.
That's why I don't have hair. I don't want to give any fly that might want to land on my head a comfortable, soft resting place. So the hair is not just a beautiful cosmetic decision by me. It's also practical. And let me just tell you right now, I am so happy that until like 15 to 20 seconds ago, right before we went on the air, I had no idea what the fly was, what people were talking about. Like, it is so nice to be completely, blissfully ignorant. Now, I wish I could say I could claim blissful ignorance about Jim Rutherford, but that's another story.
Well, Matt Murray was traded, as you were debating with me the other night about this situation, and Ottawa was the destination, as it turned out. Second-round pick and a player named John Gruden, interestingly enough. No relation, I don't think.
This guy is a real prospect. This guy.
Well, they're all real prospects, but let's talk about Matt Murray. First of all, do you think, based on what we had heard and, a soft market for Matt Murray, I think getting a second-round pick, and they immediately drafted another goaltender and then another goaltender, that was better than most people had prognosticated. Did you think that was fair?
I had no idea. I had no expectation that they'd actually be able to trade Matt Murray, so kudos to Jim Rutherford for finding at least one sucker out there to take this deal. As far as the goalies they drafted, that's like irrelevant to me. Both of those guys won't be ready to contribute in any tangible way for several years. I kind of wish they had found a Norwegian goalie to draft so they could have had the entirety of Scandinavia represented in net at various levels of their minor league system. But I'm happy that he got something for Matt Murray. It was more than I thought he would. And I still have major concerns in kind of the larger picture here, Bob, that Jim Rutherford is like the right guy to make the moves that this team needs to get better. They need depth on their bottom six. I think they still need some quality players, somebody on the blue line. What do they really have here? They have a great top six. It looks like as set in stone as it's ever been, and then a whole lot of question marks. I'm skeptical right now still.
Yeah, and you can debate whether or not they're stronger or weaker in goal without Matt Murray, because now it's Casey DeSmith backing up Tristan Jarry. But there was a long time ago where they traded Philip Gustafsson, and he's still, I think, with the Ottawa system, but I haven't heard much about him. He was supposed to be this can't-miss guy, and so far he's missed. So you wonder about what the Penguins would have depth-wise as well. I personally don't have a problem with Casey DeSmith being a backup, but the tandem itself, I think, is weaker than the tandem of Jarry and Murray.
Well, I think the tandem itself is inarguably weaker because I think Murray's a better goalie than Casey DeSmith. So if you are going Jarry DeSmith versus Jarry Murray, I don't think it's really a contest here. I think it's obvious that they got weaker. Speaking of goalie tandems, by the way, you can tell, I'll just make my little political tie-in here. You can tell Jim Rutherford is like a second-term governor who knows he doesn't have to, or she doesn't have to try to get votes anymore, and they're just saying what's on their mind. He has absolutely just strafed on the way out of town two separate players now that helped him win back-to-back Stanley Cups in Justin Schultz and now Matt Murray, with what he said about what went wrong for Murray and that he didn't have the mental toughness to be the guy once Fleury left. I thought that was really low rent by Jim Rutherford, and that's the second time, like I said, that he has taken a player who was a big help, a huge help, to their two cup runs and slagged them on the way out of town. I just think that's really Bush League stuff by him.
I didn't expect that from him either, but I also think, as far as the trades themselves, the Hornquist one I don't like, and because I like what Patrick Hornquist brings here. Schultz, I thought he had progressively gotten worse ever since he hit his stride when he first was acquired here. But we'll talk more about that as we go. We have a lot of other things to get into. More tests in Tennessee. And now there's talk that there could be potentially a forfeiture. I don't believe I'll see that. The NFL has never done that. Will they do that? We'll talk to Chris about that and like to get your viewpoints as well. It's 412-575-2600. Lots to debate every night right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, Pittsburgh CW. We'll be right back after this.